You like this state? Cheshbono that you would like. I think so. We have some charts also.
This is Kuf. What's the Kuf?
No, I think we're still in the tzadi. Let's see over here.
Yes.
So tzadi, right? So tzadi chesed based on the bottom, and we'll go on to tzadi test today. Okay, so we start. 5 women that their children got mixed up. Nowadays, you have all in the hospital, they have the bands right away, footprints and fingerprints, but it didn't always happen. So if you have 5 women that we're not sure who's the children, who's who, and then you have these 5 children that no one knows their identity, no one knows who their mother is. Okay, but they grew up, and they married. Umesu, and all 5 of them died. Okay, theoretical. So the question is about Yibum. So what would you say about Yibum? Yeah, 5 and they died, and they died without children, and after the Yibum. So all these 5 women, they have definite sons, but besides definite sons, they also have these fakers. They have these 5 doubtful sons. So each one doesn't know who's the real brother. On each wife, she doesn't know who's her husband's brother. So each one is going to have to get 4 chalitzas and 1 yibum. Means of all the 5 fakers, each woman, these 5 men, the five brothers, means the 5 definite sons of these women will come, and these 5 women will come, and each woman will get 4 chalitzas and 1 yibum. Means really you can get 5 chalitzas. You could each one give chalitza. You can't do yibum because maybe she's a yevam l'shuk. Maybe she's somebody else's Yivam. You don't know that it's your Yivam, or you don't know who your brother is. But they could get 5 chalitzas. But the Mishnah says that one of them could do Yivam. One of them, because either he's taking his right Yivama, or maybe he's taking a woman who's had chalitza already, and now he could take her. Makes sense? 5 sfekos.
What the
Sfekos were that their 5 children in the hospital got mixed up in the nursery over there. They got fixed up. We know the 5 mothers, we know the 5 children, but we don't know who's who. And now these 5 they grew up successfully and they got married, and now they died without children. So we want the brothers to do yibum, but we don't know who the brother is. On each one we don't know who the brother is. But there's the choice of 1 out of 5. So you can't do yibum right away. No one can do yibum because maybe she's yevama l'shuk. Maybe she's somebody else's yevama that hasn't had the chalitza yet. So the only thing you can do is they should give chalitza first. If 4 give chalitza, so then the 5th one now could do yibum. So each woman is going to get 4 chalitzas and 1 yibum. Make sense now? Not satisfied? You are satisfied? Then, so let's say the first one. The first one we're going to get, really the Mishnah means to say that. The Mishnah means to say that each one could get 4 chalitzas, and the 5th one could do yibum. And each woman could get a yibum. She doesn't know if she did yibum. Maybe she just married somebody out there that's not related. But it's a chance. 1 out of 5. It could be you got the right one. So do yibum.
Who died?
All 5 of them. Again?
All 5 of them died, but we don't know which one died.
All 5 of them died. We don't know who's the brother, whose brother. We have 5 women that they gave birth to 5 children, and those 5 children got mixed up. So we don't know who's who.
Oh, they're not 10.
They're 5. No, then each woman happens to have also definite sons. I could have made a chart.
That's what this one is. I'm looking at this. There's 10 boys.
Sometimes it makes it clear, sometimes it makes it confusing. There are 5 children, there are 5 women. Each woman has a definite son.
Each one has a definite son.
And they're back home. And each one has their definite address.
Oh, and then they're the ones that have to do
Then there are 5 children that got mixed up. And the 5 children that got mixed up, they're the ones who died.
They're the ones that died. All the suffix died, and then we want to know from the Vadai.
What should they do to these widows? These 5 widows over here.
Okay,
so that makes sense. So each one gets 4 chalitzas, and then the fifth one could do yibum. Because one
Even though it's the wrong one.
it might be the wrong one. If it's the wrong one, what happened? She got chalitza already, and now she's going to the shuk to get her married, and here's an available man. So it might be the
So
yavam.
last one.
One
He
of
has to
them.
do four, and then the
First do four chalitzas, and then the fifth one could marry. And then the Mishnah is going to just continue saying that it can't be one man cannot do two yibums
no.
because
Right.
he's definitely going to be getting. No, go ahead.
If a man does yibum
So if
after she already got chalitza,
so then
it's no problem.
either it's a yibum. If it's not a yibum, if it's not a sister-in-law, so then it's not worse than just getting married. She got chalitza from her real brother-in-law, and now she was looking for a shidduch, and she got a shidduch. That would be okay. But
Why can't
you
he do two yibums?
so theoretically, one man will be able to do two yibums after she got chalitza from everybody, but there's less chance there's no chance that she got one of them definitely didn't get yibum. If you do that, everyone should get at least one yibum. So there's a chance that they got a real yibum. Maybe they didn't. Maybe everyone
But
got
once
mixed
you
up.
do it, you do a second yibum, for sure one of them is wrong.
Right. Now, wrong doesn't mean that it's terrible. That just means you didn't do the mitzvah of Yibum because you got chalitza. But if possible, try to do Yibum. So therefore, we're not going to tell one person to do 5 Yibums. All 4 should give 4 chalitzas, and then one person could do all 5 Yibums. You could theoretically do that, but then you definitely missed out on the possibility of even doing Yibum for 4 of them. So each one should do 1 Yibum, and therefore you got a possibility that maybe the Yibum didn't happen. And even if it didn't, everything's kosher because you did chalitza first. That's what the Mishnah says. That the first case is that, let's read it again. 5 women that their children got mixed up with each other. We don't know who's who. This combination, this assortment, they all got mixed up. They grew up, they got married, but then they all died, maybe without children. So, and each of the women has also a definite son. 4 of the brothers of the definite sons should give chalitza to one of the women, and then the 5th one should do yibum. And we said either you got the right one, she did yibum, even if you got the wrong one, so she got chalitza already. Now we can marry her. Now the next woman, and then the next woman also she gets 4 chalitzas and 1 yibum.
Excuse me, just in the way of the wording, it seems like 4 do chalitza
to 1.
What does that mean?
4 of there are 5 definite sons, right?
4 of them do it to 1.
Right. One woman, they come to Bezdin, and there are 4 men that are coming,
4
4
of them
brothers.
do it to Suffolk A, and
Right.
then the 5th one does yibum to A.
To that A.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. To call the men 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and call the women A, B, C, D, E,
Yeah.
A, B, C, D, E, right? And then, so A is going to get chalitza from 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 could do yibum. And now the Mishnah just wants to say that the second one, the 1 shouldn't do yibum to B, because if he takes A and B, so definitely it's not going to be a yibum done over there. So who? But the second one, so he who did yibum should, and plus another 3 should do chalitza to the next one, to B, and then somebody else should be miyavim her. Nimsu arba chalitzas v'yibum l'chalachas v'achas. If you do it like that, so each woman will get 4 chalitzas and 1 yibum. Maybe you got yibum sometimes. Maybe
when it says but who you said it's the guy who did the yibum,
right?
And then it says v'achad miyavim.
Where are you reading?
Who u'shlosha
he, the one who did yibum, we called him, let's say, number 5, and the brothers of the definite brothers, 1, 2, 3,
number
4,
5
5.
because he's the 5th one, because
Let's
the
say
other 4 did
the chalitza first, and then he did yibum. Now this number 5, we tell them now to be now widow number B steps up. So what's going to be? She needs 4 chalitzas also. So we tell number 5 who did yibum.
Why doesn't he do 4? Oh, but once he does yibum, why would he do chalitza?
Right.
So why does he do 3?
No, he plus another 3 of the men
Oh,
do chalitza to the next
plus
one.
3.
He plus 3 do
Oh, I thought
chalitza.
he did 3.
No, who ushlosha cholton lachas. He plus another 3 do chalitza to one of the next of the women. And again, it really could have say again that 4 do chalitza. Each one gets 4 chalitza. But you're just going to say that the one who did yibum shouldn't do yibum again,
Right.
because he's not going to be doing yibum. He'll be doing for sure not a yibum to one of them. And it's not that it's a terrible avera because they got chalitza, but we'd rather that there should be a possibility to do yibum. And therefore the Mishnah ends off, Nimsu arba chalitzas v'yibum l'chalachas v'echas. Each person, each of these widows is going to get 4 chalitzas and 1 yibum. possibility that they did yibum, even if they did. It's good.
Yeah.
Okay, but the Mishnah says, of course, when you have a chalisa and a yibum, the dafka michlis for the yibume. First, do get all the chalisas and the yibum, but don't do yibum first. Avol yibume b'reish alone. Don't do yibum first before they got all the 4 chalisas. Take a poke of yivama l'shuk, because it might be that you're not getting a yivama. You're getting not getting your yivama. You're getting somebody else's yivama, and she didn't get chalisa yet. Yivama l'shuk. So therefore, the chalisa should be done first, and then the yibum. Period.
What's a good word for pega?
Paga, to meet up, to bump into.
Uh-huh.
You're going to bump into Yavam Lashuk. You're not supposed to bump into Yavam Lashuk. You're supposed to, you can't marry Yavam. You're not supposed to. It's their love. So therefore, they should get Chalitza. So surely she's not any more Yavama. Maybe she's your Yavama, maybe not. But even if she's not, she's already got Chalitza. But if you do Yibum first, you might be getting.
Otherwise, she should go, once she gets Chalitza, she'll go and do, she'll go and marry in the shul.
No, we're talking about right now. These five, they're all gonna do Yibum. These 5 women are going to be taken, but we want to make sure that she doesn't do Yibum before she got Chalitza from a possible husband, a possible Yavam. So first do the Chalitzas. Each one first gets 4 Chalitzas, and then the Yibum. I heard that there was a today. Yeah, I heard yesterday there was a Chalitza on the road. So the business came to them. They did it over here. I don't know why they did it over here. There was a Chalitza. So here there will be 5 widows coming and 5 yivamim coming, and there will be each one will get 4 chalitzas and a yibam. What does it mean in the Mishnah that it says that, and for the second one, he plus another 3 do chalitza to 1? Why does it say that? The Mishnah explains what we said. The low tamely of minu chad lekulu. We don't say one person should do yibam to all of them. Means theoretically you could do that. 4 should give chalitza to all of them.
And how many Adam have to watch?
We'll get to that. That's all. How you do chalitza, we'll see later on. Here we're talking about. Here we're saying as if we know what to do. Yeah. So here it says you have a bezdin, but we'll see that later on. But here it talks about theoretically you can have one person that after the woman got all chalitza, then one person could do all the yibums because he'll get one of his, but the right one, plus he'll. Even if you got the wrong ones, they got all chalitza. So it's not a problem. You're not doing an avera, but don't do that way. The low table they have minu chad lekulu. We don't say one person should do yibum for everybody after they got chalitza. Each one should do yibum. Why? Maybe you get the right one. It's possible. At least give a chance that he should do, even though it's not about him yibum. Maybe it's yibum. So agav, that's a point that people talk about chelas. That they don't know, they're not sure if it's tchelas, and they talk about the after this asafik the Raisa l'chumra. You say even on the mitzvah saseh. The Gemara is saying, even on the asafik mitzvah saseh, also you say try to do it. Some
means the right one.
What?
DJ means the
right one. His own, right, his. The translation means his. Maybe you'll get his, which means like you're saying the right one. Okay. Next Gemara. That's it. Now it starts Tana Rabbanan. There should be a period over here. Now it starts a Brisa Tana Rabbanan.
We do.
What?
I have mitzatan.
Right before that, there's a box that says put in Tana Rabbanan. The base of the box says put in Tana Rabbanan. Miksas and achin or miksas and shein achin. First read the words, and the words don't make sense. The Gemara is going to say you have to edit something over here. First it says miksas and achin and miksas and shein achin. If there are some that are brothers, some that are not brothers, means from these whatever the words mean. What does it mean? Some are not brothers. Some are not brothers. So tell them to go home. What does that mean? Ha'achin cholzin. Those that are brothers should do chalitza. Those that are not brothers should do yibum. So the rabbi might come. What does that mean? It doesn't make sense. The words don't make sense. The words don't read. If they are those that are not brothers, so they have nothing to do here. We're talking about the possibility that they're brothers. It means the following: Miksas anachin min ha'av, u'miksas anachin min ha'im. Achin min ha'im cholzin, achin min ha'av liyabim. So here I have a diagram from Rashi. Rashi tells us what to do. So let me just put it on. How does that go here? Here's the Gemara, and we have here. So the names I use, Rashi gives a name over here. You could use other names, but Rashi uses there's Reuven and Boaz, and there's Chana and Rachel over here. So Reuven and Rachel, they got married, and they had a son Yosef.
Reuven and Rachel.
They had a son Yosef.
Yes, and Rachel. Yes.
Reuven divorced Rachel, whatever. Yeah, he divorced Rachel, and she got married to Boaz. And they had a son. His name is number one. We'll see later on. He's one of the ones that got mixed up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 eventually got mixed up, but got mixed up in the hospital, whatever. Reuven, after he divorced Rachel, he married Chana, and they had a son. Well, number two. Yosef is related to number one through the mother, common mother. Yosef is related to number two because they have a common father. This is Achman Av, this is Achman Aim. Right, that's Yosef. Good. They also were another three women that also each one had a child, a boy. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they got mixed up. We don't know who they are. We don't know, no one knows who they are. It might be, no one knows who their mother is. So we said, same case as before, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They got married, they grew up, they had a successful childhood, even though they didn't know who the mother is, and they got married and they died without children. And now the brothers have to do 4 chalitzas and 1 yibum. That was the mission we had so far. Here, there's a brother over here, his name is Yosef, that besides being a brother to number 2, so he comes into business. I'm a brother of number 2. We don't know. It means we don't know number 2 is. But he's also a brother. There's a brother to number 1. Now the brother to number 1 is not mother. It's only through the mother. Through the mother, there's no yibum. There's no mitzvah of yibum from a brother from the mother. Only brother from the father. A brother from the mother, there's a issur to marry his wife just like anybody else. Like any brother's wife, you're not allowed to marry brother's wife. A brother from the mother also. So he's dangerous. Means he cannot do yibum. Usually, if we'd have the five brothers, we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that got mixed up, and we'd have the sons, the Vadai sons of these women. She also has a Vadai son, a Vadai son, a Vadai son. Chana also has another son. What's that? Chana over here, and Rachel also a Vadai son. But the problem is that Yosef that comes into the picture, he can't do yibum as would be instructed until now. Until now, we would have said that all the brothers, each one should, each widow should step up. And each widow of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they have widows. So each one should get 4 chalitzas and 1 yibum. But Yosef's not able to do that because he can't do yibum with anybody because he might be getting the wife of number 1, who is his brother's wife from his mother. The rest of them, they're not related at all. The one of them, if the brother of number 5 gets number 4. So okay, so it's not his yevamos, but it's not anything wrong. It's not a woman. That's no problem. But here, this Yosef has a problem because if he gets the wrong one, he might be getting his sister-in-law from the mother, and there's no mitzvah of yibum over there, and it's a high chorus. So he cannot do yibum. That's good. Okay, go to the Gemara. That's how the Gemara fixed up this case. Some of them are brothers only from the father's side, but Mitzvahs and Achim and Naim. But there are some that are besides they are brothers from. He's a brother to the father. Like this case, Yosef was also a brother. He came into the picture because he was a brother. He had a brother from his father also. That's why he came into the business. But he also is a brother to one of them from the mother's side. So then Achim and Naim Cholson. The ones who have also a relationship, they have here a brother from the common mother, they should only do chalitza, they can't do yibum. Achim and Av, those who are only brothers from the father and they're not any way dangerous to do yibum, then they can do yibum also. Good? Everybody's happy with that?
Mm-hmm.
Next case is even easier. That some of these guys are calling him. So they can't do yibum after a chalitza. They can do yibum, but if they're going to do yibum to somebody, if he gets the right one, if you know who the right one is, he could take her, his brother's widow, so he marries her. But if he's getting the wrong one, he's getting her after she's a chalutza. She got chalitza. A kohen can't marry a chalutza,
and he can't do it first because she's a zikika to somebody.
Right.
He can't do it.
So over there also, the kohenim cannot do yibum. Miksas and Kohanim, or Miksas and Shein and Kohanim, some of these brothers are the 5 of the brothers. So the ones that didn't get mixed up, the ones that are the Vadais, but some of them are Kohanim, some of them are not. Kohanim Cholson, the ones that are Kohanim do Chalutza, they can't do Yibum because they might be taking a Chalutza. Shein and Kohanim Yavim, the ones that are not Kohanim, they can do Yibum. And then the Mishnah, that's for how do you say for extra, how do you say this? Extra credit. That if you have both of them, you have of these five of them, some of them are Kohanim, some of them are brothers from the mother. Kohanim, Mixas and Kohanim, Mixas and Nachum Menahim. Then they're not going any Yibum because nobody can do Yibum. Some of them can't do Yibum because it might be marrying his sister-in-law from the mother side, and some are Kohanim, they might can't marry a Chalutza. So nice, beautiful. Next Gemara.
So that's all of that was explaining the Mikatstan she'en achim Mikatstan.
No, the Brisa, I would fix it up here, not fix it up, I would just make a punctuation that the Brisa, we had, let me read that again, 1 second, just make a parentheses. This is the Brisa, it starts on. So, my Kamar is a Gemara intervening to explain the Brisa.
Yeah.
So that's the my Kamar that goes, why is it not writing to me? I don't know, my pencil stopped writing, and it goes until here.
To the end of the page.
No, then the Brisa takes over again.
It does?
Why not? I'm not sure why my pencil is not writing, but that's where it's. This is the parentheses. The Brisa says, the Brisa continues. And then that's all the Brisa. But my Kamar until means those the first.
I see all the cases of partially this, partially that are still.
That's the Brisa.
Yeah.
They want just have to explain what does it mean. Someone are brothers, someone are brothers. So then get out of the Bezdin. The answer is they're not. They're brothers also from the mother side. That's how the Gemara explained the first case of the Brisa. Okay, we're on to the next page.
So another case.
Tana Rabbanan. Yesh choletz le'imo misafik, la'chosim misafik, le'pitom misafik. It's possible that a person would have to give his mother chalitza misafik. It's possible a person can give. The most tell you the cases. It's possible a person can give his sister chalitza misafik. Of course, there's no chalitza to a mother. There's no chalitza to a sister. But misafik. It could be that it'll be a suffix case. It might be his mother. It might not be his mother. He's giving chalitza because it might not be his mother, but it might be his mother. And it could be to a woman who might be his mother.
Because it might be his mother.
Look at the case. There's a case where he has to give chalitza to someone who might be a sister because it might not be a sister, and there's a case where he'll give chalitza to his daughter because maybe it's not his daughter. Ketzad. So we say the first. We say all three cases, and Ketzad. What's the case? This is the first Ketzad. This is going to be about the mother. Here goes the first case. My magic marker. Okay, not working. Okay, that's good. What's the case of the mother? Ketzad. I'll try to put on the chart over here. I have some kind of chart. Two women. I think I got this is the old chart that I have, so I'm not sure. But actually, I didn't make up names for myself. These names I wouldn't make up. Yosef and Chetzron. But probably Rashi says these names, but I didn't go through Rashi now. There are two women that had two sons. One's name was Joseph, Rachel had Joseph, and Hannah had Chetzron. And how did they have those sons? They probably had husbands that had those sons. Okay, and then they got married. And then their husbands died. And these two sons married the other one's mother. Yosef and Chetzron might have been friends, whatever, from two separate mothers. Nobody's mixed up yet. But Chetzron married Rachel, and Yosef married Hannah. Everything's kosher so far, right?
Yeah, sounds good.
Rachel and Hannah had another son.
Are not sisters?
No.
No.
Rachel and Hannah, I think I'm saying it right. We'll see if the more it makes sense. Then Rachel and Hannah also had other sons. Each one had another son besides the sons that we know about Yosef and Chetzron. They had other sons that got confused. We don't know who's who. We don't know whose son is whose. Right? Now Yosef and Chetzron die without children. So Chetzron's wife, Rachel, needs Yibum from his brother. Yosef's wife, Hannah, needs Yibum from his brother. But we don't know who the brothers are. Because these two, one of them is his brother, one is Joseph's brother, one is Chetzron's brother. We don't know who's who. So what are we going to do?
They each do chalitza.
They each do chalitza to somebody who might be his mother. Means we're going to try to do that Chetzron should do each one has to give chalitza to both of them.
But
So-
maybe it's not.
Each one is going to, we don't know who's who. So this one is going to have to give chalitza to both Rachel and Chana, because one of them is his brother's wife, but the other one is his mother.
Right.
So he's going to be giving the chalitza to his mother, Misafik.
Right.
And the same thing, Yosef, the same thing, same thing on the other side.
Yeah, good.
Okay, that's that. Let's see. There's his mother and another woman that have two sons, each one had a son. And then they have another two sons in hiding. Hiding means in the case where they got mixed up. They weren't in a regular hospital, they were in a cave someplace, and they had nobody to put on the name tag.
That's
So-
machba.
Machba means in a hiding place. Means when they're running away during wartime, whatever, they had to be in a case where they had nobody to put on the red string of who's who. So they have two sons that are speakers. So each one has a Balai son, each one has a suffix son. And each one's son married the mother of the other one. And they died without children. So each one has to give chalitza to both of them, because one of them is his brother's wife, the other one is his mother. That's the case. Each one's going to be giving chalitza to his mother, because he has to give chalitza to both of them, and one of them is his mother. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Next case.
Is that the end of the brisa, or can-
No, Bryce continues. What am I doing now? This case we just did, right? Oh, 1 second. This case we did. This case we did. Next case. Is that true? No. One case. That's my.
Okay, so then it says, Nimsa kol have collates the email of the suffix.
Right. That was not going to the next case. Now it's going to be the next case. We're going to talk about sister case now. I think this is this case. Let's see what happened exactly. What do we have? I'm not sure where to start. Two women. Okay. Let's see maybe I should read the Gemara better, because I'm not seeing where I'm coming yet. Lachoso misafik ketzad. How do you have a case that he's going to do chalitza to her sister misafik? Imo bishacheres sheyoldu shtei nekevos. Make it smaller. Why is it not listening? Okay. I'm sorry, my driving is not good today.
The two sisters.
I'll read the Gemara from my text over here, and then we'll see it together in the text. Okay. What's the case of Chosam Yisafik? Ketzad imo v'isha cheres sheyoldu shtei nekevos be'machve. This woman had a daughter, and this woman had a daughter. They were together in the cave over there, and they don't know who's who. So these two daughters are speakers. They don't know who their mother is. I made it on this side, but we don't know. We don't know. She had a daughter, but they got mixed up. And the brothers, not from the same mother, means half brothers, half brother. Means such a case over here, that you had a woman who she had a daughter from this man, and then she had a son from another man who had another son. So is he allowed to marry her? Yes. Why not? They're not related in any way. Not a common father, not a common mother. It's a half brother, half sister. Why not? So they're allowed to marry each other.
Okay, I see. He's from a different mother altogether.
Yeah, he's from a different mother. Right. This is a common father. This is the father who had the son, and
Yeah. Okay.
and the common. So fine. So this man was allowed to marry this half brothers, half sister. And same thing on the other side also. She also, she had this daughter, and she also had a son from another man, and who had a half a brother, right? So this half brother also married his half brothers, half sister. And then they died. These two husbands died. So the brother is supposed to do yibum to his brother's sister, but he doesn't know which is it. Is she his brother's sister? Then he wouldn't be able to do it, because it'll be his sister. If this will be the case, then besides being his brother's wife, it's also his sister.
His sister.
That's the first mission in the Masechta, that you can't do yibum, no chalitza either. And the same case over here. If he would be, if it would be the other woman, if you know who's who, so then he would do yibum to his brother's wife if it would not be his sister, but he doesn't know. So here again, you can have each of these men is going to have to do
Chalisa to his sister.
two chalitzas, one to the other woman and one to the one who's his sister. So it comes out that he's doing chalitza to his sister Misafik.
Right.
You see the Gemara on that? I'm not sure why okay, here it is. Ketzad, Imo. Two women, they gave birth to two girls in hiding, so they got mixed up. And brothers, not from the same mother, came and married them, and they died without children. They have to give chalitza to both of them. That's the case where he gives chalitza to his sister, his suffering because maybe it's not a sister, maybe it is a sister. That was the second case, and the third case, also on the chart over here, is going to be Levito Misafik. As the Gemara says, Ishto Visha Cheres Sheyoldu Shtei Nekevos. Two women gave birth again to two women, and they got mixed up. And the brothers married those daughters.
The brothers of the husbands.
Right.
The brothers of the husbands married the daughters of their niece.
So you're allowed to
They
marry
married
niece.
their nieces, and they're allowed to marry their nieces, and then they died.
But then they're allowed to marry niece. But then when they die, then the brother doesn't do he doesn't his daughter. So he's not going to do chalitza, no even, but it might be the other one, since that fact that they're mixed up. So then he would have to do it to the one that is maybe it's not his daughter, maybe it's the other woman's daughter. So he would have to do it. So it comes out that he's going to do chalitza to his daughter Misafik. You see the Gemara on that? The Bito Misafik Kesad Ishto. Isha Cheres Yoldu Shtei Nekevos B'Machber Bo Achen V'Nasim U'Meisa V'Labanim Zechol Sabito Misafik Zechol Sabito Misafik. All good, three cases, and that's the Gemara. The Brisa that said the fact that it's possible to have to do chalitza to a mother, to a sister, and to a daughter Misafik, and it gives the cases.
The reason they bring this is why is because we know that it's asserted to chalitza to these people.
There's no chalitza to a person who's a relative.
There's no chalitza who's a relative, but there's cases where because out of suffix.
Because it might not be his relative, right? So theoretically, it's possible to have such a case. I don't know the purpose of it. What do you learn out of all this? I don't know what is being learned out. Yeah, yesterday also riddles, 7 riddles, and Tesha says we have nothing to learn from it, just to show their wisdom.
To show that the other one is so strong that the other one needs chalitza that even out of suffix you have to do this.
Yeah, why not? Why not? It's because it's saying it's not their cheres to do chalitza to a mother. Well, what's the chiddush? If there's a woman that needs chalitza, so we don't know which one it is.
Yeah, but we know that you don't do chalitza to your mother. So.
Yeah, but because there's no need to do it. But here, it's not like it's not called a chutzpah or anything. It's just she's the one who's spinning. Okay. Tanya, how you Omer? It's the only thing I think was showing you interesting cases like riddles. It's a sort of riddles.
Yeah.
It continues. It's possible for a man and a woman to give birth to 5 different nationalities. The same man and a woman can theoretically give birth to 5 different nationalities. How do you do that?
For a man and a woman,
That
sometimes
could
they
give
give to
birth?
5 different. Okay.
Case out. Here's a case. A Jew bought a slave and a maidservant from the market. They're going. These are going. The Eved and the Shifcha means he went to the slave market, he bought an Eved and a Shifcha, the regular going. And he doesn't own them. He had to hold an Eved Kanani. They're not the Eved Kanani. This is a regular Goya and a Goya that he bought. And they're working for him. They're not an Eved Kanani and a Shifcha Kanani, they're a Goya and a Goya.
I understand. Eved Shifcha means not an Eved Kanani.
Right, because he bought it from the shuk. Means he went to the market and he bought a guy, and the guy over there doesn't. And they're lucky when you buy a guy, so you give him 12 months to decide. You had to go more earlier if he wants to be told the shame of this. But in the beginning, when you buy him, he's a regular guy. He doesn't have the status of Eved Kanani yet. And when they came, they already had 2 children. They had 2 children as goyim. This couple, we'll call whatever name you want to give them, this Eved Shifcha, when they came into the marriage.
They were a married couple.
They were married
They
couple.
were a set and they had 2 children.
They were what?
A set.
A set.
A zoom.
And they had 2 children. What are the children? Goyim. And this guy, one of the children became a ger. So they come into this service of being an Eved by this Jew, that they have 2 children. One is a ger. So far, what do they have? Nimsa echad ger ve'echad goy. But they have two nationalities already. One is a ger and one is a goy. Now the story continues. It be on the shame of this. Then the master who bought this Eved Shifcha, this set, so he now immersed them that they should become avadim, and they continued being husband and wife. In this they had relations and had a son. What's the son born? And
I'm sorry, we're up to Hatavlin.
It Bilan. The shame of this. He immersed them. The master who bought them. He immersed them that they should become avadim, the couple. And now he's an Eved Kanani and she's a Shifcha Kananis, and they continue having relations with each other. He didn't separate them. They had a son. What's the son?
What is Niskut?
They had relations. They connected to each other. I'm not sure the word translation exactly. That's the same word as Zika, like a connection. Niskut means that they had relations and they had a son. Areikan, Ger, Begoy, the Eved. They have another son now, a third nationality called it. That he has Eved Kanani, the son. And once they became, before they were Goyim, so the son born was a Goy. And then one of the Goyim became a Ger. But now that they're Eved Kanani and Shifcha Kananis, the son born is an Eved. So they have already three. Each child is something else. One is a Ger, one is a Goy, and one is an Eved.
One is a Goy, and one is an Eved.
Right, they went on.
Those are called three nations?
Maybe by word nationality is different, whatever you want to call them. Okay. Ethnic groups. I don't know. Okay, the next one is Shifrer Esa Shifcha Ubala Eved. The master freed his maidservant. Means he bought an Eved and a Shifcha, and then he freed the Shifcha. He didn't yet free the Eved, only the Shifcha. The Eved is not allowed to have any more relations with her because she's already a Bas Yisrael. Even though it was
the Shifcha was who, the original woman?
Yes.
She was still her children became the Eved Kanani.
Yes, but then the master, the master decided to free her,
and now he freed her.
She becomes a shifcha. She becomes Jewish. And the husband didn't stop. The husband, we tell her stop. Husband,
I see.
You were together as goyim, and you were together as a vadim, but now she's Jewish. You're not Jewish yet, so you can't have relations with her anymore. So what's the kid? Arei kan ger begoy be'eved u'mamzer. So this Bryce holds that this child is a mamzer. We're going to hold not like that. But this holds that a Eved Shabbat, now she's a Bas Yisrael. So it's an Eved Shabbat Bas Yisrael. So we hold that the kid is kosher. But this Bryce holds that as a mamzer. We have that many times in the Masechta. Is it a mamzer or not? This Bryce holds as a mamzer. So this fourth nationality, ethnic group, whatever you want to call it, culture, is a mamzer. Then he also freed the Eved also.
Why does it say Shnehem?
Yeah, because he did it already.
He already did.
That's true, right? Shifra Shneim, or you can say Shifra as Eved now. If you see in Zelazeh, now they got married, the happy couple. Both of them are Jewish and a regular Jewish couple now.
We're talking about the freed slaves are now getting married to each other.
Right. They've been together as Goyim, they've been together as a Vadim, and now they're together as Jews.
They were together as Goyim.
They were together as a Vadim, Eved and a Shifra. Because it be on the shame of this. He immersed them, they became Eved and a Shifra.
I thought she went from being a shifra to a freed. No,
yeah, but you have to go further back. First, she was a goy. He bought a goy and a goy.
Oh, and then she made them, and
then he made them to be an Eved and a shifra.
And then he freed her, and then that was
right. At that point, he shouldn't have had relations with his wife anymore because
now he's having relations as
now he could. Now he's a good Jew, and now both of them can live. And now they had another child. He's a Jew.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened? Areikan ger, begoy, be'eved, the moms of Israel. Here you have it. All 5 nationalities. Or the wrong word, nationality is the wrong word, but okay. Michael Mashman, what's the chiddush? It's a very nice riddle, but what's the case?
Wait a minute, I don't understand. Who's the Eved?
The one who was born while they were Eved and the Shifra. Again, slow motion. There was a ger and a goy. A goy and a goya, and they had 2 children, 2 goyim. But one of them became a ger.
One became a ger.
So you come into the family, they say, "This is my son the goy, this is my son the ger." Then they were immersed for Avdus. So he's Eved, and she's a Shifra, and they had relations, they had a son Eved. So you come into the family, here's my goy, here's my ger, and here's my Eved. Then the Eved would continue having relations with his wife, who's after she was already freed, and now she's a Bas Yisrael. And they and mamzer. Here's my ger, here's my goy, here's my Eved, here's the mamzer. And then the Eved also got freed, and now Jew, a Jew. So you have the whole list, the whole family, a goy, a ger, Eved, a mamzer, and an Israel.
Because there was always one child left over that was an Eved. There was one child that stayed an Eved forever.
Yeah, well, once he's an Eved, he's an Eved. I mean,
I'm
yeah,
saying
yeah.
that the two parents, they
Yeah.
moved, and once they moved, they're not part of that nation anymore.
Okay, well, let's
But we
talk
had a
about
child still.
the word would be status, not nationalities. 5 different
No, but at one time.
status.
Right?
No, the children.
At one time.
What do you mean? What do you mean one time? You come into the family, you can see all these 5 children over there.
5 different people.
5 people. They're saying 5 children, 5 people. They're all different status. How do you say? What's the plural of status?
Stati.
So they have 5 different children. They have different statuses.
Statuses.
Oh, otherwise, Mike and
I'm just
Mashma.
saying that the parents,
The parents change
they
status.
they change status. Once they change status, you can't count them for the previous.
We're not
But
talking
there's-
about them. We're talking
I'm talking
about
about their children.
yeah, but
There's
there's
a child
some
that
other
stayed in
children.
Eved.
We're not talking about the
They had 2
parents.
children, and one was an Eved. And so they were goy. There's one child that stayed a goy,
Yes,
and because he stayed a goy, so we still count them
right.
as a goy.
Count him.
Now,
Count him as a goy.
Huh?
We're not counting the parents. We're counting the children.
We're counting only the children.
Yes, we're not counting the parents. We're counting the children. We say, come into this family. The parents put aside. The parents went away for a vacation. Look at the kids in the family.
Well, there were 2, so 2 goyim.
No. The one became a ger.
And then we did look at the parents.
I'm not looking at the parents. I'm looking at the
Oh,
children.
there's a goy and
Become
a
a-
here.
You sit around the table and you say, Shalom Aleichem, who are you? So one raises his hand, I'm a goy.
Yeah.
Second one raises his hand, I'm a ger. The third one raises his hand and he says,
I'm a shifcha.
I'm a Eved. The fourth one raises his hand and says that I'm a Mamzer. And the fifth one raises his hand and says that I'm a Jew. Then he asks, who are your parents? They say, Johnny and Mary. All the same parents? Yeah, all the same parents. Not to call it maybe Yochanan and Miriam, whatever, but they came a long way. But the children, that's what the children. So why we do this for? I don't know. The Gemara says, Mike and Mashmalan, Goy, Eved, Abba, Bashishol, Avlad, Mamzer. The only Chiddush that says over here is that this halacha is a Chiddush. The rest are not Chiddushin. But this is our Chiddush, which we don't pass like even, that a Goy or Eved who had relations with a Bashishol, that's the case when there was the Eved had relations with his wife who became Moshe Peres, so Mishal Zamamza. So we don't pass like that, but that's what this Bryce held. Another riddle. It's possible for a case that a man should sell his father in order to give his mother the ksuba that is owed to her. Could you figure that one out? It's possible for a man to sell his father in order to give the ksuba that is owed to his mother. What's the case? Case that Yisrael Lakach Eved, the shifcha and a shuk. A Jew bought an Eved and a shifcha from the market. They're going. Ben, and they had a son who was a goy also. The shif, maybe here they were told already. The shifra as the kid's in Evan. I think in this case the kid is in Evan. The shifra as a shifra, the nosa, and then the shifra that he had bought, he freed her and he married her. She's a shifra. Yeah, they were told. Not he didn't keep them as going. He bought an Evan and a shifra. He was makel them, and they had a son who became a ger. The shifra as a shifra. The Nasa, he freed his shifra and he married her. And he gave all of his estate to his wife's son. He gave a present. That's going to be the case that the son, well, in the estate is also the Eved. Means the master, he had an Eved and a shifra. He owns the Eved. He owns the shifra. He freed the shifra, but he didn't free the Eved. The Eved is still in his estate. And then he gave his whole estate, means including this Eved, to the son of his new wife. And the father is part of that estate. And then if this man dies and his wife is owed ksuba, so they go to the one who got the estate, and and there's a shibud, there's a lien on the estate that owes the ksuba, and he's going to have to sell his father, the Eved, in order to give his mother the ksuba. So that's the answer to the riddle. Micah Mashwan, what's the chiddush over here? Yeah, halachically, it's a riddle, but what's the chiddush? Kula Rav Meir, v'avda matalfli, and matalfli mishtabli l'ksuba. Yiboisema hakamashmalan avda kimikako edami. The chiddush is that an Eved is collected in the ksuba. Yeah, what's the question? Because usually we say that only karka is collected in the ksuba, not metalflim. If somebody got metalflim, then he doesn't have to pay the lien. There's no lien on metalflim. So he wouldn't have to, if he got the estate, which is only metalflim, he wouldn't have to. But there is a shita that says the metaltalum also go. So that could be one possibility that the Eved, even though it's considered metaltalum, but this time I hold that metaltalum also goes for the ksuba. Or he holds that Eved is considered karka, and that's why he goes to the ksuba. But as far as that's the halacha that comes out of it. But the riddle is a riddle. The riddle tells you this case is possible, and it spells out the case how it's possible for a person to sell his father in order to give his mother ksuba. And the chiddush halacha comes out of that would be that he holds that the Eved is also collected as the ksuba. Is that good so far? Everyone's enjoying? Next Mishnah, new Mishnah. More cases of confusion. I think this is easier. A woman who her child got mixed up. This is still a little bit intricate, then it's going to get easier. But even the confusion is also enjoyable. A woman who her child got mixed up with the child of her daughter-in-law. A mother-in-law and a daughter-in-law gave birth, and the kids got mixed up. It means the uncle and the nephew got mixed up. These two kids, we don't know who's the uncle, who's the nephew. Both of them grew up and they married. Umesu. And both of them died without children. So I have a diagram over here. Let's see if that helps. Oh, one more. I didn't put this chart on. I think I skipped it before. This is it. Oh, here it is. This is the case. Here's a woman, and she has a daughter-in-law, her son's wife, and she gave birth, and her daughter-in-law gave birth, and they got mixed up. Here's the mix-up. This son and this son, on the shot I put it someplace, but we don't know really who's who. It could be that he's the son of the daughter-in-law. It could be he's the son of the mother-in-law. We don't know. These two kids are mixed up. They got married. They grew up. They got married. He has a wife, and he has a wife. It also happens to be that this mother has another son, a Vadai son also, and this daughter-in-law also has a Vadai son. So now that they died, who died? The speakers died. The ones who were in confusion died, and you have to do chalitz yibum to their wives. Now, if we know everything, if everything would be known, there wouldn't be any confusion. So then the brother does yibum to his brother's wife, no problem. And this brother should do yibum to his brother's wife. But we don't know if that's so. Maybe they're confused. And this wife is not your brother's wife, it's your nephew's wife. Is that terrible? To marry your nephew's wife? Not terrible. But how about this one? He wants to do yibum to his brother's wife, but it might not be his brother's wife. It might be his aunt, and that's terrible. That you're not allowed to marry. A niece you're allowed to marry, but you're not allowed to marry an aunt. This might be his brother's, his father's brother's wife. So you can't do yibum, right? Because so that's what the Mishnah is going to say. What does the Mishnah say? Let's see the text over here. B'nei akala cholsein v'lo miyavin. Shu suffocacious achiv, suffocacious achiv. But b'nei azakena or cholsein v'lo miyavin. Just suffocacious achiv, suffocacious ben achiv. How much the way we said it? Just to see it again. That the b'nei hakala. Where are we? This case. B'nei akala means this is the b'nei akala. I'm not sure why my thing is not working. Maybe it needs a new battery. But the b'nei akala means this one. He's the b'nei akala, right? He's the son of the daughter-in-law. So he's a father. What he can do. Well, as the Mishnah read, b'nei akala, they do dafka chalitza. He does chalitza to both women are in Suffolk. So he does chalitza to both of them. Why? Because he can't do yibum to any one of them, because he might be doing yibum to his aunt. So that he can't do. That's why he says that he does chalitza, no yibum, because it's a possibility the two speakers are going to be either his brother's wife, which would be fine, but it might be his uncle's wife, which is terrible. So he has to only do chalitza not yibum. But the bnei azkena, but the son of the mother-in-law, he could do one chalitza and one yibum. Because if he gets it right, he got it right. If he got it wrong, it's also not terrible because he married his niece. That's okay. Make sense? And
That brother there, where you now by the pointer.
yeah, that's the Bnei Azkena. She's the Zkena and she's the Kala. The mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law. So the son of the mother-in-law can do, like it says, Chalitza and Yibum. Bnei Azkena, oh, Chalitza and Obiyavin. They could do Yibum to both of them.
Who's both?
To both of these women. These are two women that need Chalitza or Yibum. Their husbands died.
Right?
The question marks why? The question marks died, and their wives need to be free
Their wives.
because their husbands died without children.
Mhm.
So this one, the one who's the Bnei Akala, he can't do Yibum. He only can do Chalitza because if he does Yibum, he might be marrying his aunt. So he could only do Chalitza, but the Bnei Azkena could do Yibum because
Niece.
at worst it's going to be his niece. So each one get that. So that okay. That's the Mishnah. Let's see that inside. Bnei Akala cholzim lo b'yavin. She was suffik eishes achi of it. But the Bnei Azkena cholzim lo b'yavin because it's a suffix. Maybe it's his eishes achiv. Maybe it's eishes ben achiv, which is fine. A different case. Nesu haksherim. The same case, but not that the Sfekas died, but Vadai. This says the akshen. The word akshen doesn't mean kosher. Everyone's kosher. The question is only who's who. So here the case will be the opposite case. Let's look at the chart again. Here, not that the Sfekas died, but the Vadai died. He died and he died. And now the question is that he should get he had a wife without he died without children. I didn't put it onto the chart, but he has a wife also, and they died without children, and now he needs that his brother should do something. Chalitza or Yibum. So what's the question? Well, we don't know who the brother is. The Mishnah says, "Mesu akshem hatarobis l'bnei azkena cholzim v'lo b'yavin shusafik eishes achim ve'eishes."
So again, the one in the bottom with the question mark.
Yeah.
He can't do Yavam because it could be his aunt.
Right. That's what it says. That l'bnei azkena cholzim v'lo b'yavin.
Right.
This one can only get chalitza, can't get yibum. Because maybe he'll be doing yibum to his aunt. But the Bnei Akala, but this one means he died again. He died, right? And he has a wife. So then, you don't know who his brother is, but even the one who's not his brother is not going to be terrible because it's only going to be Shehu. It doesn't say why, because it's going to be a suffix. Maybe it's his nephew, niece. No problem. That's good. Okay, all that is finished. And now I think it gets even easier. And that's the Mishnah, starts at the bottom. What if there's a Kohen, a Kohenis, and she has a Shifcha, and both of them gave birth. So the Kohenis gave birth to a Kohen, and the Shifcha gave birth to an Eved. So you have in the nursery over there, you have an Eved and a Kohen. And one is the Adon, one is the master, one is the Eved. And they got mixed up. So you don't know who's the Kohen, who's the Eved. Who's the boss, and who's the boss, the Kohen, and who's the Eved, Eved, both status and also ownership. So what do you say? These two boys, they're very mixed up. Either he's the Kohen, master, or he's the Eved.
I would think that neither of them could get.
Well, he says,
Oh no! Even a household, they can all eat truma.
So as far as truma, right?
Because
Right,
because
because
the
he's a
household, they
slave.
can all eat.
Because either he's a Kohen or he's the Eved of a Kohen.
he's
So
a
either way, he's
household.
not eat truma.
I see.
He's going to say all everything you have to know to get through life.
Yeah.
When they go to the Goren to get truma, they not eat truma, but did they get a portion? Did they give out truma? You don't give. It's going to say you don't give. You don't in the Goren in the silo. You give out truma. You don't give it to Eved Kohen. Only to a Kohen. The most going to say because people might do that as a Kohen. He's allowed to eat truma in the house, but you don't give him a portion. People might think, oh, he's a chashav guy. He gets truma. He must be a kohen. Really, he's an eved. So you're not allowed to give
But it says chokin.
together. They go together. That's what the Rashi explained. That they have to go together in order to get a chilek.
Echad b'goy.
They go to get one portion means together. They go to get, the Gemara's going to say ke'echad. The Gemara's going to change it.
I see.
The way it says now is they get one portion. We'll see more in the Gemara. The Mishnah continues. Mason. Are they allowed to become defiled to a mace? No, because each one, maybe you're a kohen.
Maybe you're going.
Ain't a nosim nashim. They can't marry ben kshes ben psuls. You can't get married. Why? Because either he's a kohen or he's an eved. So you can't marry a kosher woman because an eved cannot marry a kosher woman, and you can't marry a shivcha because maybe you're a kohen. Even Yisrael cannot marry a shivcha, so they can't get married.
They can't get married.
Who should he marry? He doesn't know if he's a kohen or he's a shivcha. Even if he doesn't know if he's Yisrael or eved, also he can't get married. Who's he going to marry? A eved cannot marry a bas Yisrael, and a kohen cannot marry Yisrael can marry a shivcha even. Okay, so there's nobody that they can marry. They grew up, this mixture of the Kohen Eved, the Shifra was so they freed each other. Means if I'm the master, I'm freeing you. Each one said,
the
each
master, I free you, and if you're the master,
So you free me?
Why did they not
the master, I free you.
one of them was a Kohen.
Huh?
One of them was a Kohen. Each one we tell them, maybe you're a Kohen.
Right, so,
they
I
can't.
saw them.
Yes. And they can't marry.
It says Einan Matan.
They're not allowed to.
They're not allowed to. They're not allowed to because one's a Kohen. And they can't marry because you don't know who to marry. You can't marry a kosher woman because maybe you're an Eved. You can't marry a shifcha, maybe you're a Kohen. Now they go on in life. They grew up. A mitzvah. Shifcha was they free each other. So now you have a Kohen and Eved Meshufcha. That's a smart thing to do. Or else they continue as a Kohen and an Eved. Not smart. Can't get married. Now they free each other. So now they could get married. Who do they marry?
Kohen.
What do you mean?
They can marry somebody Rui Lakon.
Only somebody that a Kohen could marry, but it has to be somebody that Eved Meshachar also could marry. Means he can't marry a Grusha because maybe he's a Kohen. They can't marry.
He's limited to.
He's limited to what a Kohen's allowed to marry.
Bas
Yisrael?
Regular Bas Yisrael.
Yeah, but that means what I mean, not a Grusha,
Not a Grusha,
not a Chalutza, not anybody Kohen's not allowed to marry. They're not allowed to marry because
In
maybe he's
other
a
words,
Kohen.
one of them is a Kohen and one of them is not.
One of them is a Kohen. In Nitmu, Ein Sof Genes Abraham. If they do become Tamid to the mace, they don't get Machayev Malchus. There's only a suffix. Means only can be Chayev Malchus if he's definitely a Kohen. But since he's a suffix Kohen, so it's not Chayev Malchus. Are you not eat Truma?
So that means. Oh,
How do you sure know? Because maybe it's Evet's Shifra. Oh,
now
well, they
can't
freed
do-
each other, so no.
Right. That they can eat, before they were able to eat Truma because he was a Kohen or Eved Kohen. But now he's even a Kohen or a Meshachar. Meshachar cannot eat the
they
Kohen
cannot eat.
anymore. He doesn't belong to the Kohen anymore. They ain't not Achum B'Truma. Good?
Yeah.
And what if they did eat Truma? Did they have to pay the regular payment that
No, because it's a suffix.
no, because maybe he's a Kohen. They don't have to get the penalty of paying Keren V'chomish because maybe he's a Kohen. You can't force them to pay up the penalty. But did they get the Truma in the Goren? Goren. Why not?
No, because
Because
maybe he's a maybe he's a.
The Meshachar doesn't have right to get.
Then a lot of losses to them.
But if they have Truma somehow, like let's say they have a field and they got Truma, do they have to give it to anybody? They have to give, they can't eat it because he's not allowed to eat, maybe he's not a Kohen, but
No.
neither one can eat it. Could they have to give it to a Kohen?
No.
Why not? Because maybe I'm a
Maybe
Kohen.
he's a Kohen,
So
so
what
he
do they
can
do?
benefit from it.
So they could sell it. Most when I said Truma, they're allowed to sell it for Bam Shop, they can keep the money. Because they can't eat the Truma because maybe he's not a Kohen, but they don't have to give it away because maybe he is a Kohen. So they can sell it, they go to the market and they sell it by the Truma stand. There's a Truma stand, they sell Truma. It's not as expensive as Chulin, but it's for sale.
Mhm.
The Einan Cholkin B'Kotshei HaMikdash. They don't care the chelik in the base of Mikdash when they give out Kotshim, because maybe they're not a Kohen, maybe it's not a Kohen. The Ein Noslam Lem Kotshim. Here Rashi says Ein Noslam Kotshim. Rashi says it means like a Bechor. That if you'd have a Bechor, you don't give them a Bechor because maybe it's not a Kohen. But the Ein Noslam
Matanas Kavun.
Manas Kuna, don't give it to them. But also Ein Noslam shall Manas Kuna, things like it goes to the Kohen. Rashi says Bechor. Rashi has two pshatim, but Rashi says the better pshat is a Bechor or Chavomim, things that go to the Kohen. That's going to be the Mishnah soon. In your case, is the Mishnah coming up. But Rashi says Bechor or Chayrim. Chayrim means if you consecrated something to the Kohen. So they don't have a right to get it because maybe it's not a Kohen. Maybe it's a Meshuchra. But if they did have a Bechor, let's say, then you can't take it away from them and give it to another Kohen because maybe he's a Kohen. So what do? It's going to say soon what you do with it. If they shecht a chulin animal, once you give Zerah Chaim V'Kepa from a chulin animal, it goes to the Kohen's chulin. But they don't have to give it because maybe it's a Kohen. Maybe it's a Kohen. It's not us to eat it, you ought to eat it. Well, what do you do with the Bechor? Before it said that they don't have to give the Bechor away, but what do they do with it? The Bechor, and ends off, that we give all the chumras, both if he's a Kohen or if he's Israel. So what's the last thing? That the Bechor, he doesn't have to give it to a Kohen. What does he do with it? So he waits till he gets a moon, because if he's gonna just give it away, so he's losing money. So we allow him to wait until the Bechor gets a moon, and then the Bechor Balmum you're allowed to eat. Even Israel is allowed to eat the Bechor Balmum.
Used to
Till it gets a moon.
Have to become a Kohen from the time he's dinner.
Okay, they go to the roof. That's what they do in the case of suffering. Okay, now that's the Mishnah. The Gemara takes over. We said in the case over there when some got it mixed up. So the Mishnah used the word that the kosher ones died. There was no question of kosher and possible. It was only a question of who's the vada, who's the suffix. That's the most kasha. That's because they got mixed up. They became possible. They're not possible. They're kosher Jews. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean kosher. It means the ones that we know who they are. The word kosher should be substituted by the word vada. It's a vada against a suffix. It's not. It didn't become possible. It says over there the case of the mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law, the kids got mixed up. So it says that to the Bnei Akala, that one does chalitza and one does yibum, because at worst it's only going to be a niece. It's not dangerous. But after mechel spal the yibum, in this case, we have to get a chalitza and a yibum. Of course, you do a chalitza first, because if you do yibum first, maybe he's doing yibum before, and she's chayav chalitza from she's yivam l'shuk. You have to get before also, beginning of the day. Whenever there's a case, you have to get a chalitza and a yibum from two different people, so you make sure you do a chalitza first. So this was maybe Yaakov's conscience that said they get one chelik. Chelik echad pshita, of course only get one chelik. Means if the Kohen and there's a suffolk Kohen, suffolk Evan. Right? So it says that they get one chelik in the Goren. Of course they get only one chelik. They only get it because he's the shliach of the Kohen. Yes? The Kohen doesn't get two chalakim. The Mishnah means to say they get it together, only if they come together. So the Mishnah they want to put in the word ke. They only get it as one. What does that mean? That they have to come together to the Goren in order to get anything. This Mishnah is going to be according to the Mandama that says that you don't give Truma to an Eved only if his master is with him. Means even though an Eved Kohen is allowed to eat Truma, and also he can come as a shliach of his master, he says, I'm Reb Kohen's Eved. So we don't give it, and we say, if your master come along with you, then we'll give it to you. Why? The time you ain't choking Truma Eved Elam came Rabbi Imo, they Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yossi Omer, Yochol Shema in Kohen Ani, Tnuli B'Shvil Asmi, in Eved Kohen Ani, Tnuli B'Shvil Rabbi. So the rest says no problem. It comes to the Goren, it says, I'm not a Kohen. My master's a Kohen. Give me because I'm a master. I'm a shliach from my master. Rabbi says no, that you can't give to Eved Kohen only if the master is there. Why? What's the machlokas? In Komo shall Rabbi Yehuda Yomal Metumal Yosin. In Komo shall Rabbi Yossi Lo Yomal Metumal Yosin. Meaning, really, there's no inherent reason why you shouldn't give it to the Eved Kohen. Why not? Eved Kohen will bring up to his master. Why not? The chash is people will see he's getting Truma. They'll think he's a Kohen. They won't realize he's an Eved Kohen. People will jump to the conclusion he's a Kohen, and they'll say, "Oh, he's a Kohen because he got Truma." So therefore, in Rabbi Yehuda's place, where if they saw somebody getting Truma, they would consider him a Kohen. So he said, "You're not allowed to give Truma to an Eved. Only if his master's there, we see he's the master, he's the Eved. No one's going to make a mistake. But if he just comes to the guy's sidewalk and gets Truma, people will say he's a Kohen." But in the place of Rabbi Yossi, they didn't consider that a reason to consider somebody miyuchas. Just because he got Truma, people understood that you give Truma to an Eved Kohen also, and that's because they see somebody getting Truma, they don't get impressed. So it just has to do with the minhag hamakom. If they're not to give it only to Kohanim, you have to give it only to Kohanim, and then you're allowed to give Truma miyuchas. You can say if you got Truma, he's a miyuchas. But in the place where they're not makbid, so you give it also to Eved Kohen, and in those places you can't assume he's a Kohen just because he got Truma. Tanya Omer Rabbi Elazar Rav Tzadok. I never said testimony only one time, and I messed it up. The one time that I said testimony, it happened that they made an Eved should become a Kohen. It means I testified something that made them think that he's a Kohen, and really he wasn't. And the more right away says, how could it be that he made a mixture? The Helus al-Kadaka, they actually made him to be a Kohen. Famous Gemara, the Gemara says that Hashem orchestrates that even a behemoth of tzaddik shouldn't have a takala. Kavachomer the tzaddik himself. This would be what's the case of the behemoth? That's the case. He didn't want to eat tevel. Is that the case? And I didn't see the Rashi over here. That was the case, that he didn't eat tevel, or so even the behemoth Hashem orchestrates shouldn't make a mistake. Surely the tzaddik himself shouldn't make a mistake. So therefore, how could it be that the Belazar of tzaddik caused that an Eved should become a Kohen? So Ela Ema Lo Tema Ela Ema Bikshu La Allah said that it almost happened. At the last minute, they realized it was a mistake. But it almost happened in Michshol that I caused an Eved to become a Kohen. What was the case? What was the case that Rabbi Elazar of tzaddik testified? He saw somebody getting truma in the place of Rabbi Yossi, because in Rabbi Yossi's place he used to give truma to Eved Kohen also, and he went and testified in the place of Rabbi Yehuda that this person got truma, and in Rabbi Yehuda's place the minhag was you don't give truma to a Eved Kohen, only to a Kohen. So they thought, oh, he got truma, it must be a Kohen. That was a very dangerous mistake. At the end, Hashem orchestrated they should find out that it was clarified that he wasn't the Kohen, he's Eved Kohen, and he got truma over there. They said, oh, that's not the right, that is a Kohen. But you see that is dangerous. If there are places that think if someone gets truma, he's a Kohen, be careful that you shouldn't give him truma.
Where did Bryce in?
Oh, I'll put the parentheses again.
Is it River says, in my days, I only gave.
I said testimony only one time, and they made
Alu Eved,
Runa Alpi, and then the
Alu Alpi.
right. Then there's a parentheses. It's not working for me. I don't know what went wrong today, but okay, there it is.
Alu Salkadaita.
That's the Gemara talking.
Yeah.
That's the intervention. Hello, Salkadaita. Oh, here it is. Okay.
Ella in the Bakshu
Okay.
Alu.
Ella Bikshu
Bikshu.
Lahalos
That's more
Evet
like the
Lekuna
Bryce.
Alpi, and that's where the the truth is that's under the Bryce already.
Yeah,
That's
that's
under the
just saying what
Bryce,
the Bryce meant.
and then the Bryce meant, and then Chazal is saying the story how did it what happened?
Okay.
Okay, fine. Tani Rabbana. Tani Rabbana Asora Ein Cholkin Lahem. Oh, it's very late. I didn't realize how late it is. Okay, so we'll stop here. We'll be back soon with Pirkei Avos.
That's going to be there 10 that you don't give it to Gemara. 10 that you don't give it to Gemara.
Right. Yes, everybody. Thank you.